Hi, this is Jeff from Gleenwood Farms. I want to show you something I've been working on. It's a project. It's a raised trellis, and I've done this for a couple of reasons. Obviously you can plant your vegetables in the ground, and but I had a situation where I felt that this would be best to raise these off the ground for a couple of reasons. One is I have some dogs, and I didn't want them going through this. Another, it helps control pest and some of the other problems that are inherent with like squash or cucumbers or cantaloupe, that sort of thing. So let me go ahead and show you what I've basically done in this thing. I've got probably about 50 hours into this, and when I'm all finished with this, I'm probably going to have pretty close to $400. Now that might seem like a lot, but I've done some things in here that were probably not necessary, but I've kind of come from the old school that if you're going to do something, you might as well do it right, and that's at least what my father had taught me. So and that served me well. So let me go ahead and show you what I've done on this as I get a little closer on here. You can see that this is some pretty substantial wood. I've got 4x4 pillars in here, and they're pressure treated, and there's a number of grades of pressure treated lumber. This is the above ground lumber. Since it's going to be above ground, I didn't see the need to spend the extra money for that. You can go with that. It's a little bit more expensive. Some of the details that I have in this, and some of them are for aesthetics and other are functional values. You can see on the top of here I've got this, it's beveled on the top, and that's not only a decorative use, but it also helps displace the rain. And I have notched these 4x4 posts, which is going to hold the top rail on this, and there really isn't any support needed in a downward angle on this. It's mostly just around the perimeter of it. And as you can see in here, I've drilled a number of holes through this, countersunk them, and then I ran the 2x4s through my table saw and cut a slot. And this is where I'm going to feed the string through each one of these and create a grid, and then the string will be beneath, or it'll go right in the slot there, and so it won't be exposed to the elements, and it'll probably look a little bit better. Another thing is the beveled legs, and there again, this is decorative and functional. What I've done on this is I've used a bevel bit in my router and turned those down, and I did this for functional value as well. Should I go ahead and in the future have issues with pest or some type of crawling insects, what I'll do is I'll set these in those large cans that you see restaurants use, or Costco's or BJ's when you're buying bulk vegetables. They'll sit in there and they'll be submerged in either water or oil or a combination of both. If you use those cans, there's not a lot of space between the 4x4 corners and the outside perimeter of the can. So knocking down this this edge will make it easier. Now I've had some problems with that in the past where I didn't do that on my beehives, and I'll show you how I solved that in some other videos. So what I've done on this, I've notched the areas out, and you have basically two rails here. You have a bottom rail, which is going to support the planters. These here planters will sit on top of here, and then they'll be irrigated, and then I'll create a grid that'll go around the perimeter of this, and the leaves will grow through that, and they might require some guidance, but they will grow on top of that. I'll be able to treat the top and bottom of the leaves and keeping them off the ground, which will improve ventilation and help control some of the mildew issues that you get normally with squash and those sort of things. How I've tied these pieces in, you can see that I have it's a mending plate. It's a 1x4 mending plate, and what I did is I used these here to tie the cross members for the planters through that, and had attached those in there, and you can see those are notched too. And there again, you're going to have a little bit of pressure on that, maybe 100 pounds with the planters. And then I've also attached corner braces, you can see in the corners here, and also in the corners of these poles, the vertical poles, where they attach to the horizontal. And this is nothing more than just a corner bracket that I've attached to the corners. Now, what I've used for fasteners is pressure treated fasteners, which is probably a step down from stainless. And in these areas here, what I've done is behind this board where it attaches to that vertical column, I've drilled a couple of holes and countersunk them, and used 3.5-inch pressure treated screws to tie those two pieces together, and then they have the mending strap and the corner brackets. So this is probably overkill, but I'm hoping to get at least 10 years out of this thing. You know, if you spend $400 for making this, I have to grow a lot of vegetables to be able to recoup that. So I've also painted it with a good quality latex outdoor paint that's got a, I believe it's a 30 or 50 year warranty on this. So I might have to touch it up a little bit every now and then, but I think it's also going to add some additional protection to this. The other features that I have on this is the top I had mentioned that are notched, and that slot goes around the perimeter of this whole unit for the string to hide in there, and there again, that's going to go ahead and conceal the string, stop it from you know, I guess being damaged from any kind of abrasions or whatever, and just protect it a little bit more. Let's see, what else on this? The columns, I've got them sitting on little blocks, and that was mostly just to go ahead and facilitate the painting on this. You know, obviously these can come off of that and just sit in the ground itself. The last thing on this that I wanted to make you aware of is that this is at a slant. You can't really see it, but if you can see it is at a slant, and that is so that as the sun hits this, it'll get full sun throughout the day, and it'll also make it a little easier to drain on the irrigation system. So that's pretty much it on this now. I'm going to go ahead and start putting the planters in, and then the irrigation, and also the string grid, and I'll show you how that comes out afterwards. So hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks.